Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you here for this presentation of a different aspect of information and data science. The kind of decision making that you heard about in other presentations here is clearly based on knowledge and data and information, as we see that in very different surroundings. Now, my presentation today is on data science for the information society. What are the benefits of documentation, archiving, and open access of disaster information? Throughout the whole disaster management cycle, there is a challenge to support information and communication needs of all groups, decision makers, and actors of information society. In a lot of circumstances, there is a typical situation that the government will make the right decision. On the grassroots level, it's you and your family need your own decision making, and you need your own information for that. So when I talk about the role of information society, that is everyone, all kind of actors, because all the actors are decision makers themselves. Now I'm talking about a CODATA Working Group that offers the appropriate discussion platform. Myself, I'm chair of CODATA Germany. Just tell you that I also have an international working group on documentation, archiving, and open access to disaster information, as approved by the CODATA General Assembly in Kiev 2008. CODATA itself is a committee of the International Council for Science, and it's named Committee on Data for Science and Technology. So this is also, of course, not only for science, but also from science to society. That is the extended role. CODATA itself, in its very general aspects, is devoted to data management problems common to different scientific disciplines, and has a general objectives that are implement of quality and accessibility of data. That CODATA Working Group on documentation, archiving, and open access will address a demand for doing so, the current state of the art of all these aspects, deficits, the benefits, and have an action plan, recommendation for science, not only for science, but also for the management and for information society actors. We will see disaster preparedness in terms of information infrastructure and management viewpoint, and comprise the anticipated need of information, and also, of course, have that information aspect in the post-disaster analysis of disaster information. Of course, there is also quality of information very important. Not only in terms of precision, but in terms of timeliness of availability, management aspects, completeness, and very important, the adequateness of decision making. Risk is one of the things that, from the information science point of view, we are still lacking typical standardization knowledge models in risk management. So that is where we have to see some aspects also in the terminology and the logical representation, the mathematical representation, and the data models included in what we call risk elements. All these things are also recursive, but because once we analyze decisions and actions, we have to refine our models and observe new. So that is a kind of typical management cycle. All these management cycle in an active disaster situation is, of course, something that should happen within minutes, sometimes within hours. If you have a few hours, you're lucky. So all these things have to be based on information models that support this in real time. The resulting data are most often very much dispersed, kept by different organizations. They're sometimes classified, sometimes the military is involved. So there's no question that the military wouldn't be very interested in opening the data. Nevertheless, we say that the moment that information society, the actors, your people, are those who benefit from that information, then also the military and other actors should consider what can be open documented. Data sets are partial and they are not assembled in a kind of complete data collection, which is not on one computer, on one laptop or something, but a networked system. We have the technology nowadays, service-oriented structures between portals of different organizations and science fields, and this comes together. Now we have the technique to do so, make information systems much more complicated. Without full documentation, without archiving and open access to disaster information, it's impossible to analyze the appropriateness of decision made in the efficiency of actions taken from those decisions. So I want to highlight that without proper information, that is depending on the quality of the result of action. This is where we say it's not replacing common sense, but in all that complexity and all that hurry that has been done, there is a need of thorough consideration, and after that to reconsider about what has been done, what decisions have been made, upon what level of information available at that moment. To what decision maker? To the decision of the city mayor, to the decision of the prime minister, or to the decision of your own family to do that. After that, of course, we would have the benefits of open and permanent access, that we can allow trustworthy information to all actors, especially to the media, influence the reduction of losses, enable knowledge mining, reduce misunderstanding, and prevent misevaluation or bad estimation of decision consequences. It is relevant to the complete management process to describe the problem, analyze the information, compare, decide, act, and also this, of course, recursively. It's basic, essentially, in consequences to all resources involved, the humanitarian, social, organizational, and financial. So the complexity of the task indicated shows that even the data and information sciences principles are not understood in a way that could be named optimal at the moment. We have a lot of data. You say remote sensing, oh, huge, terabyte. In the first moment, rapid mapping, very important. But what is needed by the decision makers after the alert phase, after rescue phase, there is a lot of information produced, and that is, in many cases, is just gone. The problem is we are even lacking the science education curricula to do so, to handle this kind of complex information. Information society at large is interested in being prepared to disaster risk. Data science fulfills its role toward information society in pointing out at the obstacles to learn and advise for future best preparedness. With respect to information society, trustworthy information sources are required, and there is also consequences, of course, in the ethical domain. We heard about what kind of information is giving, what kind of information is hidden, and so on. This working group, steering committee, I'm chairing that. That is with renowned scientists from France, China, USA, and Japan. We invite you to join our activities with information, communication, and cooperation. These links you will see in when you download it. And I want to thank you for your attention, pointing out that this green leaflet will be available from the table. Mark it, write your email, stay in contact with us, because there is a lot to do. And there is a big challenge to information science to improve substantially what is the management task of every actor in disaster. Thank you.